Dear audience, welcome back again to day 3 of Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational. You know me, I'm Pinky Donchadero, and I am here with number 12, Stevie from Toronto Mixed Roller Derby. Stevie, how do you feel after 3 tough games this weekend?
I felt better, but overall, I think our team did pretty good. All things considered, we were missing sleep, as we know, key component to our roster, but we put it all out there this weekend and had some fun.
So you have a bit of a roster change. You have some new skaters with you this season?
Yes, yeah, we have several new skaters to the roster. A lot of them new to Derby, period. Okay. So we're going through a different stage in TMRD iterations, but yeah, we're having a good time.
So after this weekend and your experience, what's the game plan going forward?
Great question. We're going to all send positive vibes to Spencer's shoulder and hope that he can recover quickly and we can get back on the track. We'd love to make qualifiers. We'll see what happens. Yeah. We've got IHOD on the docket, and then we have a round robin in Philly at the end of May.
Oh, nice. IHOD's a great tournament, one of my favorites. How do you prepare for a weekend like this?
Jam against Spencer every Saturday.
Do you have like an off-skates training program that you do?
Actually, yes. I play women's derby as well in Peterborough, which is the city in Ontario where I live. And I run a morning workout with some of my derby friends every Monday to Friday at 6:30. We do a 5-day split, and we do some cardio as well. And then I also have 3 practices a week, so keep myself busy. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any like game day superstitions or traditions that you do?
I like to keep it pretty quiet. I'm a lone wolf, so I like to stay out of the chaos.
Makes sense. Just kind of keep yourself focused as a jammer. You just have to be on point. What is your favorite move as a jammer?
I like to do waltz jumps and a little hip scoop around, as you've probably seen a couple times, yes.
You have that great little like sneaky hip flip too, because you kind of get that one foot and then you kick it around. It's impressive to see. Very nice, very nice. So yesterday we were looking at the stats, and you were one of 4 lead jams in that whole time. How did that feel to you in such a tough game?
Yeah, that was a very difficult game for me, hard hits, so shout out to the Bruisers for that. That was a really fun ride. But yeah, having that one lead, always celebrate the small successes. As a jammer who is playing in the MRDA, always like to go jam for jam and celebrate all those small things. Yeah.
Awesome. I was just going to ask that too, as the follow-up, like how do you then reset your mind when you have a hard jam, when you've been to the penalty box as a jammer? How do you reset yourself?
Yeah, when that whistle blows down, reset, start planning for the next jam. What can I do to change? Small goals, small changes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it was so good watching you this weekend, Stevie. I'm excited for the rest of your season. Good luck at IHOD. Hope to see you at NAQs. We'll be there watching, yes. And have safe travels back to Ontario, right? Okay, you do have a very long, and can you give us some French? Do you speak French? No. Okay. No, okay. That's more Montreal and Quebec.
You got it.
Somebody, I think it was Bosch that was, so, okay, so.
Me, not so much.
Yeah. Just throwing you on the spot there. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
It's been a great weekend, and thanks, as always, for your lovely announcing.
Thank you very much. Well, have a great one. And Stevie, number 12, Toronto Mixed Roller Derby. Keep an eye out. IHOD's next on the docket. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and next up, absolutely. Next up, I have Slingin' Grits, member of the Pittsburgh Undead Jewish Roller Derby. What other amazing cross-functional teams are you on?
Oh my goodness! Well, it's what I have been on. I've been on B-side. I've been on Team North Carolina All-Stars. There's been many, many teams over the years, and of course, all the leagues I've played for. I've played for NRV Roller Girls, Carolina Roller Girls, Collision Men's Derby, Carolina Wrecking Balls, and now Pittsburgh Undead. So I've been everywhere.
Grits has been around in quite a while, a veteran roller derby player.
17 years.
17 years? Wow. And Grits, how's it feel being one of the first women in men's roller derby?
Yeah, it's amazing, and there's actually 2 of the 5 of us here at the tournament.
Yeah.
We got a picture earlier, my ladies, Grim and Pearl. But yeah, 10 years ago, actually. 10 years ago, we decided to make the switch from WIFTA to MRTA. And it was, for me, kind of like going back to the beginning days of WIFTA.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of fun. It was like playing with your friends, hitting them hard, and then, going out and having a beer afterwards. It was more my style of play, a very physical style of play. So it is quite amazing to see how it is very all-inclusive now. But yeah, it was just a few of us when they didn't even know what to say about us. I remember jamming or playing against Denver, ground control, and they kept calling me the pivot with the pigtails, I think is what they call it, because they didn't even know how to reference me because nobody knew what to do at the time. So it was pretty funny.
How did you change your derby playing style? I feel like you didn't have to too much because you were a pretty aggressive skater to begin with.
Well, and I do with Jewish roller derby, I skate WIFTA. It is same rule set, but it is a very different style of play because in women's derby, I tend to be on the bigger end. So there's some things that I can do, kind of a little bit more of a brute blocker. Especially in the beginning of MRTA, when there were so few women in MRTA, I really had to change to more of a finesse smart player, using my knowledge of the game. Because I wasn't going to always outmuscle them.
Yeah.
Every now and then I could, but a lot of it was just pulling on my experience and being in the right place at the right time. So I really do play slightly different within the same rule set based on whether I'm playing MRTA or WIFTA.
Do you ever use your wrestling experience when you play roller derby?
That would probably get me kicked out, so probably not. But yeah, that was a fun time of my life too. So, but it's always fun to think about.
I love it. I was like, Grits was a wrestler too. This is awesome.
So yep, Derby girl Jennifer Blaze. Had my helmet in the ring with me, wore my jerseys.
That's amazing.
Couldn't skate out because it took too long to lace the boots, but it was a lot of fun.
That's so awesome. So next up for you is Dawn of the Derby. How are you prepping for that? Now, you're going to decompress from here. What's the game plan going into Dawn?
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a lot going on. Obviously, I'm hitting the practices. We'll kind of talk about what happened here and what we need to tweak and work on. But then the week that we're prepping for Dawn, my daughter's graduating Virginia Tech VX with Twin Valley Roller Girls. So Twin Valley Roller Derby. So VX is going to be graduating Virginia Tech on Thursday and Friday, and then I have to scoot up to Pittsburgh for the game. So It's a busy weekend. Then she's got a bout in Chattanooga, so we're all derbying it amongst the graduation.
Wow. So I was thinking about this. I know I have certain roller derby superstitions and traditions I do on game day. Do you have anything like that?
For me, I will say, for those that don't know, I'm a little bit on the older end of life, not just derby.
Us spring chickens over here.
So Gen X, I crossed over the 50 mark, but
welcome.
Thank you. So things I do now have a lot to do with using the roller stick, a lot of stretching because I got to make sure everything is loose. A lot more of those injuries will happen as you get older, so I have a little bit more of a routine of making sure everything is loose and ready. Otherwise, it's just making sure I have the right foods. But I don't have any real superstitions. It's just kind of keeping with the routine of knowing my body and what it needs on game day.
So you're not one of those people that I won a game and then I'm not going to wash this jersey again until when we lose.
I air out my pads. I've got fresh socks. I'm not that superstitious, but just sticking with, like I said, what I know my body needs to keep on going, which is, I can attribute to why I can play at this level at 50.
That's amazing. How much longer do you think you're going to play derby?
I'm doing the things I need to do. I am blessed to be on a league now that is 60 people strong, a MRTA league with 60 people. We've got 3 teams. So I don't see an end anytime soon because I know that there's lots of opportunity as the aging up juniors come in and go, move over old timer. It'll happen. But we have 2 chartered teams and we have another non-chartered team. So I don't see derby having to go away. But I will admit I'm trying to invest in making friends outside of derby. For those in derby, I'm playing a little game when I meet new people. I challenge myself not to talk about derby at all, not to tell them I'm in derby. I'm flexing that muscle. And if I can make it through the whole evening, I'm very proud of myself that I didn't mention Derby.
Okay, I'm going to take that to heart. Like, I need to make friends that are not in Derby. That's a good plan.
It's so easy to revert back to what we love to talk about. You know, we talk about Derby a lot, and I'm really challenging myself to have conversations that don't involve this thing I love because it's easy. I can talk about it all day long.
Exactly.
So that's why this is easy.
And we could keep this interview going all day long, but we have 8 minutes left to Derby. We're going to see the Chicago Bruise brothers take on Casco Bay. How you think this game's going to go?
I'm super excited. So I'm going to be taking my skates off real fast and coming back out to watch. I think it's going to be a very physical game. I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement. I know people were excited about several of the games over the weekend. I think this is going to be a one that the crowd's going to be really into. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to go grab my snacks and get a good spot over there so I can cheer loud too.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Grits. I am also going to be on the edge of my seat for this game. I'm not announcing it, but I'm going to produce it and keep those stats. In 7.5 minutes, back with the action. Again, I'm Pinky Donchadero reporting from Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational. Bye!
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are at Game 12, live from the Dover Ice Arena in Dover, New Hampshire. My name is Discussions, and I am joined by...
Hi, I'm Tot from Pittsburgh.
Hi. This is going to be Casco Bay A-Team versus the Chicago Bruise brothers.
This is going to be an exciting game. I know it.
All right, Tot, why don't you go ahead and let us know who's skating for Chicago.
All right, for Chicago, we have 1337 Akira, 15 Smackaroni, 16 Marcomedes, 19 Ragnarokr, 217 Racer Rex, 312 Killinois, 314 Val Raven, 35 Ben Hurt, 350 Rage, 411 Trivial Pursuit, 556 Shenanigans, 683 Psych and Destroy, 831 Twinkle Beef, 85 Ice Hurts, and 88 Up and Atom.
And skating in black for Casco, we have number 1000, Felon of Troy. Number 207, Mini Fridge. Number 3, Masonic Boom. Number 32, Pickering. Number 4, Modine. Number 427, Some Skater Named X. Number 503, Tugboats. Number 504, My Baby Daddy. Number 5678, Tiny Dancer. Number 60, Pearl Jammer. Number 717, Hershey Bad. Number 74, Rock This. Number 77, Wipeouts. Number 9, T-Rex. And number 90, Yeety. Now, Todd, from the bench, you have coached the Undead against both of these teams so far.
Yeah.
And what do you think, where you expect to see with these two teams out here in this game number 12?
That's the thing. If you are going to go by the Pittsburgh Undead's record against each of these teams this weekend, this game should be almost too close to call. Pittsburgh beat Chicago by just 5 points and then was defeated by Casco Bay by 4 points. So if I have any prediction at all, it's going to be that this is going to be a fantastic game that you do not want to miss.
All right, well, taking the Jammer helmet cover for jam number 1 is Ice Hurt and My Baby Daddy, or we call MBD. And MBD grabbing the lead for Casco right out of the gate.
Chicago already sending someone to the box for a penalty. Baby Daddy already out on his first scoring pass, and Chicago has yet to got a jammer out, but it looks like they did a jammer helmet cover pass to Psych and Destroy, who is now coming back around for his scoring pass, and Baby Daddy decides to call it off.
Yeah, so that'll be an 8-point jam to start Casco out. 8-0 as it come in. Casco Bay skating in black, Chicago Bruise Brothers skating in white. Jam number 2 is going to start with Modine and Smackaroni.
Yeah, Modine has really performed well this weekend. Coming into this weekend, I knew Modine was going to be one of our biggest challenges. After watching their performance at Dumpster Fire, they're very quick, very small, very agile, and usually they're also pretty clean. So Chicago has their work cut out for them.
Great knockout there from Up and Atom, knocking Modine to the out and recycling. Smackaroni able to push through that Casco tripod and pick up lead for the Blues Brothers.
Modine's hot on his heels, though, so he's going to have to do something quick. Decides to call it off, not risk giving up any more points. So right now, the points on the board we have right now, 3 for Chicago and 8 for Casco Bay. Casco Bay fielding Pickering as their jammer against Ben Hurt for Chicago for the next jam. This Pickering jamming this weekend has been a change in their lineup. Pickering was just a blocker at Dumpster Fire, and I have not really seen them jam much prior to this weekend for Casco, but they've really performed fantastically. They're very, very strong, very fast, and very, very aware.
Yeah, I think Pickering's performed well, and I say, you know, even if they were blocking the past, I do remember saying Pickering's name quite a bit, so no surprise that Pickering's name is coming up quite often here at Battle of Bunker Hill.
Absolutely. Ben Hurt's out for lead after a nice run up the outside line, coming back for his scoring pass. Decides to call it off before Pickering can have a chance to score. Putting 3 points on the board to 0 for Casco.
So Casco taking the initial lead on the first jam, but now Bruise Brothers picking up 2 3-0 jams, coming right back at them.
Now, something of note that I noticed yesterday in the Toronto game that Chicago played, Ragnar was on the bench, but he did not play at all. So I'm wondering if they were saving him for this game. Make sure he's fresh, which may have paid off. He just got lead jammer. He's a very strong jammer as well. Very hard to stop. Most of the Chicago's jammers are larger, so they're harder for these smaller Casco blockers to stop sometimes, I think.
Yeah, small is not what I would use to describe the Bruise Brothers in general.
Not at all. Not at all. It's always a battle when we play them. It's always a close game when we play Chicago. All the way to the end.
So X with a bit of a star stash. Ragnarocker out of the second scoring trip, calls off the jam before X can make it back. So that's going to be an 8-0 jam for the Bruise Brothers, and of course caught a lead change in favor of Chicago. Chicago sits at 14, Casco at 8.
Nope. Getting ready to start jam 4. Looks like we have Ice on the line for Chicago versus My Baby Daddy for Casco. Ice is a dual charter skater for Windy City, I believe. Very strong. Okay, Baby Daddy makes it out for lead jammer. Tugboat brings Ice back to the back of the pack. Baby Daddy on a scoring pass. Ooh, big hit there from Twinklebee from the back. Not usually someone you want to run into.
You're going to remember if you do.
Yes, you will. Baby Daddy decides not to risk it and call off the jam.
Did wait for Ice to go all the way around the track before he called it off, though. 3-0 jam 4, Casco taking them up to 11. You called it at the beginning, Todd. It does look like we're in for a neck-and-neck game here.
Yeah. It seems like Chicago, Casco, and Pittsburgh are neck and neck. So I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up neck and neck in the rankings again. Just hopefully we move up a little bit. That's what I'm hoping for. Everyone here is fighting for a chance to go to the North American qualifiers. A lot on the line at this tournament.
Yeah, being that I do a lot of WIFTA work, this weekend I've officially given up on trying to figure out rankings. I'm just going to leave it up to other people who are smarter than me.
Trust me, it's a lot. You have to stay very, very aware of every single game in Murda to know anything about what's going on, which is really difficult.
Smackaroni with lead for the Bruise Brothers are all the way back around on his scoring trip. Modine now just clearing the initial. And
Decides to call it off.
Yeah,
Yep.
calling off.
Decides to call it. Modine was coming up hot. Whenever I think of Smackaroni as a jammer, I always think consistent.
I always think cookies from Smackeries, but that's the difference between you and me.
All right.
Pickering and Ben Hurt on the line.
Yep. This is a good matchup.
Modine out for Casco. Oh, excuse me, Pickering out for Casco.
Oh, wow. This game's actually pretty clean so far. We only have 2 penalties for Casco Bay on the board and 3 for Chicago.
Yeah, we were chatting about that
Which is
before.
pretty impressive.
This has been a pretty penalty-heavy weekend in general. So
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a change in that situation.
our penalty box team deserves a break.
They do. They've been working overtime over there.
2-0 jam for Casco takes them up to 13. Chicago remains at 18. 5 points between our teams as some skater named X and Ragnarocker return to the jammer line. Looks like we might have a pivot line start here, Tot.
Oh, old school. Yep,
Spoke too soon.
So both teams have 3 blockers out there right now. So expect to see some good tripods, not a lot of offense. Looks like Ragna's up at the top of the pack. Gets lead, while skater named Rex is still struggling in the back. Another blocker for Casco heading to the box.
The announcer's curse in full effect.
Oh, another
Penalties
Casco
flying.
blocker. Oh, now I
All we
jinxed
have
it. I
to-
jinxed
that's
it.
Exactly.
Oh, man. That is a thing.
Yeah.
It's the announcer curse. I've heard of that.
GTO Moose disapproving of,
Yeah, he gave me a very,
of our
a very
announcer's
unhappy
curse.
look.
Ragnarocker coming around on
Okay.
a third scoring trip here.
Akira getting called on his third penalty. That's a lot of penalties for this early in the game.
X is back at the pack for the first scoring trip. Ragnarocker 3 trips up on at X. Ooh, X getting knocked out and recycled by Shenanigans.
Yeah, you know what I heard the other day? I don't think Casco, in the history of Casco, has ever played Chicago. So this is like a momentous situation as it is. In Pittsburgh, we played them 3 times in the last 2 years. So
Well, if this was the first time, I'm hoping they did the obligatory Malort shot before they started. I feel like that's
Malort is for
required.
winners.
And 15-4 for Ragnarocker and the Bruise brothers, taking them ahead to 33-17. That lets Bruise brothers sit a little more cozily, but they need to stay on their toes because Casco Bay has been all over them this game.
I think the last jam that might have come down to a little bit of blocker penalty trouble for Casco. These larger jammers for Chicago are hard to stop them if you don't have all 4 of your blockers, or at least 3.
Speaking of stopping, that's exactly what Casco is doing to Ice Hurt right now. MBD, though, getting recycled all the way to the back, is going to have to run at it again. Ooh, takes the inside this time and avoids a knockout and stays in just a step over the apex to stay in, but then gets knocked out at the end and recycled. That's unfortunate.
Chicago's really good at covering the whole width of the track. So they really are good at covering the line. So a lot of times you have to just fight through the middle. It's not what anyone wants to hear, though. It's like you see a little light at the end of the tunnel. You want to take that line, but it's not really there.
Ice clearing for 4 and calling it out just as MBD completes the initial. So another 4-0 jam there for the Bruise brothers, squeaking ahead. If you're just tuning in, Casco Bay versus Chicago Bruise brothers, Casco Bay in black, Bruise brothers in white. Modine and Smackaroni on the line for jam number 10.
One blocker in the box for Casco at the start of this jam. Nice draw back there by Val Raven on Modine. Smackaroni still finessing and finally breaks out and gets lead jammer while Modine is still fighting that wall in the back.
Yeah.
We got some good offense there happening by, I don't know who that is, 1,000 on Casco?
Felon of Troy.
Fallon of Troy doing some good in the back, trying to break those Chicago blockers up. Oh, Smackaroni heading to the penalty box.
To the medic area under their own power. Big thank you to our medics and EMTs for joining us this weekend and keeping us safe. We'll have just a moment while our officials confer. And speaking of officials, it does take a small army
Village?
to run,
Village.
village army. I always blank on whatever that word is. To run these tournaments. So we'd like to thank our officials for volunteering their time. In black, our non-skating officials, we have Fulcrum, Bionic Bee, Malicious, Galvatron, Kill C, Grammar, Eben Woe, Fay Your Name, Huggins, Sin, and Thriller.
Yep. Our skating officials for this weekend are Illinois, French Thwarter, Kyle Crocodile, Epi Penalty, Twisted Throttle, Disco, MC, and Trambling Bias. And I do know that in the next bout is Bionic Bee's 300th bout. So that's a momentous occasion.
For those of you joining us in-house as well, the silent auction has concluded. So we will be announcing those around halftime, but feel free to wander on over. The winners have been highlighted. You can claim your prize and cash out at the Casco Bay merch table. How about the crowd here at the Dover Ice Arena? I see some amazing onesies out there.
It's been chilly in here, so you got to bundle up.
Trey, is that a Care Bear onesie?
Up there?
It is. Oh, it's two
There's
Care
two of
Bear
them.
onesies.
You know, it's supposed to be a lot warmer today than it was yesterday. I think
Yeah.
it's supposed to hit almost 60,
Yeah.
which is like 30 degrees warmer. It snowed yesterday.
The snow melted.
Yeah, the snow's gone. It's weird being at a tournament where it's cold, because usually tournaments are like when it's warm out, you know?
So, says the girl from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah, but our tournament's in the spring.
Yeah.
All right. We're still in this official timeout. Let's see, should I read something here? This? Okay, so since we have a little downtime, I'm going to talk about one of our sponsors. The sponsor of the Jammer line is Hopkins Enterprises. With over 200 apartments and dozens of commercial spaces in New Hampshire's Seacoast region, Hopkins Enterprises has you covered. Hopkins has been family owned and operated since 1966 and is dedicated to finding a perfect rental for you or your business. When problems arise, we're here for you. Hopkins Enterprises owns all of the properties we lease. We employ a dedicated staff of professionals to ensure that your home or office space receives the attention it deserves. You can visit them online at www.hopkinsenterprisesonline.com. So thank you for sponsoring the Jammer line, Hopkins Enterprises.
Yeah, here in the Dover Ice Arena, feel free to go over to the merch area and check out our vendors. We've got Skate Free or Die here, making some amazing custom printed jerseys, some really awesome designs, quite honestly. Some of my favorite designs on jerseys that I've seen. And they've got some amazing headbands, too, made from jersey material.
You know,
that
we were looking
with
at those because they're super, super soft.
Yeah, I really thought those were, I hadn't quite seen something like that. Those are really cool headbands.
Yeah,
Bruise Boutique has joined us over there today. They're representing, but be sure to check out bruiseboutique.com for all your skate needs.
I think
Cat-
the pizza place is out there too. If anyone's hungry, Stone and Firewood wood-fired pizza is outside, as they have been all weekend. We had some of those garlic fingers yesterday, and they were delicious.
My favorite, I look forward to this tournament all year for that apricot and rosemary pizza.
You
That
know-
rosemary apricot is my favorite pizza, I think,
So
ever.
you're not the only one who's recommended that, so we might have to have that after this bout.
They currently are also serving breakfast quesadillas with like a hot pepper jam. It's pretty darn delicious.
Oh, breakfast pizza. All right, so we're getting this bout back underway, and it looks like we have a power start for Casco with Pickering out as the jammer.
Yeah, and it looks like the reason we had such a long OTO is it would appear 503 Tugboat has been ejected.
Oh. I didn't even see what happened.
I'm assuming it had something to do with that injury stoppage,
yeah, that's
you know
a
what they
safe
say
assumption.
about assumptions.
Yes, the timing was would give us that clue.
Yeah, assumptions, they make an A out of you and mumptions.
Smackaroni out of the box now, trying to get through the Casco wall. Nice little hop on the apex from Pickering on that. I don't even know who to root for in this game. I like both of these teams, and we love playing both these teams. Yes.
Pickering
See,
grabbing.
I can't pick. Pinky told me I'm not allowed to pick.
Pickering grabbing lead, putting 6 points up on the board. 6-0 jam there for Casco and Pickering, taking them up to 23. If you're just joining us, Chicago at 40, they are skating in white. Casco at 23, skating in black. On the line, Ben Hurt and some skater named X.
Yep, and we're just about halfway through the first half. This game is very low scoring so far, which is not surprising given their record the rest of the weekend.
Ooh. A great block there from, I believe that was Tiny Dancer, holding off Ben Hurt. X finding the line in lane
Skater named
2.
X gets through and gets lead jammer. Ben Hurt not far behind him. And you know what I've just noticed? Chicago does not have Illinois on their roster for this bout. And she has not been out.
First lead for Skater named X.
That is the first lead jammer status that Skater named X has gotten yet so far in this game.
And that's good for 4 points, another 4 and out. Casco chipping away at the lead as they send MBD to the line up against Ragnar Rocker. The team's rolling back towards the Hopkins Enterprises jammer line.
Oh, big hit there. Oh, it's a power jam for Chicago. Not what Casco wants right now. Especially when it's a jammer like Ragna. Oh, that.
Yeah, that hit earning MBD a blocking with the head penalty.
All right, we got one of the blockers for Casco heading to the box. Looks like maybe blocking out a play. Not sure.
Three Casco skaters in the box. MBD
Yeah.
returning to the track.
It's tough to block Ragna with two blockers, that's for sure.
4 more points go up. Ragnar setting up for a third scoring trip. MBD still needing to complete the initial, and Chicago making it extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Nice takeout on the inside on Ragna on that.
Yeah, that was wipeout, just
Nice.
knocking
That was a
Ragnar
good
out
catch.
at the last minute.
Blocker penalties are going to be crucial to the outcome of this game.
How about that offense from Hershey Bad? MBD almost getting recycled, but Hershey Bad just laying into Up and Adam, allowing the pass. Great work.
Up and Adam is one of the strongest blockers that Chicago has.
Which makes that hit from Hershey Bad.
Yeah.
It was multiple hits holding Up and Adam off.
Yeah.
Hershey Bad just absolutely dominating that offense. That was so much fun to watch. But
Yeah, Up and Adam's one of the leaders on the track for them for sure.
for sure.
So we take him out of the equation, it definitely helps.
Yeah. That was a 14-point jam for the Bruise brothers.
Wow.
Taking them up to 54. Casco remains at 27.
I think the factor in that last jam was penalties.
Yeah, for certain. 2 blockers
lot
in
of
the box
blockers,
and a
yeah.
jammer in. Yeah.
Revolving door. Oh, beautiful spin move on the inside line by Modine on that pass. Beautifully timed. Chicago's bench emphatically telling their jammer to call that off as Modine was coming up fast. as she tends to do. She's super quick.
Yeah, Chicago doing a good job playing really tight, not allowing any points to get eked out here, and slowly eking away, taking advantage of every power jam they get.
Yeah, that's what you have to do in games where you know it's going to be close. Hit it and quit it, as we say.
Pickering and Smackaroni at the Hopkins Enterprises jammer line.
Looks like Smackaroni's out for lead. Seems like he's had a lot of leads in this game so far.
I think Smackaroni's had quite a bit of leads all weekend.
Yeah, Smackaroni's good. Pickering's out too, though, so let's see if Chicago can capitalize on this real quick. Yep, and that's exactly what they do. Icing one of Casco's blockers in the box, starting with 3. The next jam is a definite advantage for Chicago. Some skater named X going out against Ben Hurt.
X and Ben Hurt juking each other on the line. Ben Hurt with a bit of a fake and a run to the outside.
Yeah, he's having luck with that outside line. Just runs right up it. Skater named X still getting stuck in the pack. Nice take back there by Yeedy. This is Yeedy's first Murda weekend. They were a skater for Arizona Skate Club. They have a USARS background. I think they're in Team USA USARS. Just played at the USARS Worlds in Italy. So that's definitely a great blocker grab for Casco. A great addition to their roster. She's been performing well all weekend.
Speaking of, Yeedy knocking Ben Hurt out. Yeedy picking up a forearm penalty for that knockout, though. Ben Hurt going to call it off after picking up 8 points there.
Yep.
Taking Chicago up to 70.
Blocker penalties seem to be playing a role in Casco's issues here today so far.
Well, and again, Chicago has kept Casco scoreless for 4 jams.
Something like that.
I love the glance over to our producer Pinky, who is totally
She's taking pictures.
Thanks, Pinky. You'll watch this back later and love it.
Twinkle Beat versus Modine is definitely a sight to behold.
Ice Hurt is out with lead.
Look how fast Modine is. I'm so impressed by them. Yeah, Modine is an aged out junior, I believe, last year from Gotham Roller Derby Juniors. And they are just growing and growing, and I'm very impressed by them. Definitely a person I told my team to watch out for.
Yeah, I didn't know that fact, but I would have guessed it watching Modine skate. There's
Yeah,
definitely
their style's
that,
very junior.
Yeah, and that's not a negative thing.
No, that's a very big compliment
Yeah.
because the juniors are coming for us all.
MBD and Smackaroni.
Oh, beautiful move there on the inside line by MBD.
That's got to be Casco's first lead in, 5 or 6 jams?
Smackaroni ain't far behind. That's their first lead in 5 jams. Oh, nice takeout there on the inside on MBD.
3 points go up for Casco.
Okay, and Chicago starting the next jam with just 3 blockers on the track. Let's see if Casco can capitalize on that.
Ben Hurt and Pickering on the Hopkins Enterprises jammer line.
I think we've seen this matchup before. Oh, nice. Now that was some really good blocking by Masonic Boom at the start, just kind of picking on Ben to give Pickering a time to get up to the front and get out. And now it's a power jam for Casco. This is a huge opportunity for them to bring some of his points back into range of Chicago. Because right now they're 35. Chicago is at 72. Pickering coming up on his second scoring pass. Little confusion in the pack with penalties being called gives Pickering an opportunity to take advantage. Oh, nice hit by Hershey Bat on that one. Just stops Ben Hurt right in his tracks. Pickering struggling a little bit when Chicago has those three bigger blockers in the back. Oh, nice move on the inside with the dip. Pickering will end that jam with 11 points, putting Casco only 30 points behind Chicago at this point. That was a huge jam for Casco.
Yeah, and we're headed into jam number 20 here with over 6 minutes remaining. That should tell you just how tight and fast these teams have been keeping it. High jam numbers here. Both teams trying to be as economical with their time on the track as possible. And speaking of economical, Chicago calls a timeout to regroup, take some more of that time. Again, for those of you joining us here in the Dover Ice Arena, be sure to head on over to the silent auction. It has concluded. Go and check and see if your name is highlighted on paper, and you can cash out at the Casco Bay merch booth. Also some time to go over and check out all of our team's merch that is available over there. Lots of really incredible t-shirts, pins, patches.
Yep, Pittsburgh has a table over there.
What's your favorite Pittsburgh merch, Todd?
I think I like the classic zombie hand logo. That's our entire league logo, but we also have 3 teams under our banner. We have the Undead, which is our A team. We have the Zombies as our B team. We have Ghouls, which is our unsanctioned team. So we have merch for all of them over there.
Casco Bay also has the Casco Bay merch in addition to Bob H merch. Pick up a t-shirt, jersey.
I got my
commemorate
Bob
the
H
weekend.
t-shirt.
And while you're over there, they are doing vinyl pressing, so you can get your name and number on your shirt or on an armband.
That's pretty sweet.
Yep.
All right, some skater named X going out in this next jam against Ragnarocker. With about 6.5 minutes left to go in this game. Ragnar out front, one more blocker to beat, and he makes lead jammer. Some skater named X still in the back. Ooh, big takeout there. Drawn back by Twinkle Beef. Ragnar's got his first 4 points. Huge hit at the top of the pack on some skater named X. Resulted in a penalty.
Yeah, that was a high block going
Yeah.
to psych and destroy.
Skater named X finally makes it out of the pack. Right behind Ragnarok. Some nice blocking there in the back of the pack by Casco. Kind of forces Ragnarocker's hand. He has to call it off.
Last minute back block penalty picked up there from a Casco blocker. Both teams going to start a blocker down.
Yep. 3-on-3 action. We got Ice Hurt going up against Modine at the start of this next jam. 5 minutes left in the half.
Modine is quick, but Chicago, oh, I was going to say Chicago able to stay on top of Modine. Modine gets it through, but
they
a
can
last
fit
minute
through a
knockout.
very small space. That's why they're so dangerous.
Yeah, but again, we've been talking about Up and Adam anchoring and getting that last minute knockout on Modine.
Yeah. Up and Adam's a strong blocker. He's always been a strong blocker for them.
That recycle, though, allowed Ice Hurt to get lead status and is now in a scoring trip. Ice Hurt forced to call it off as Modine comes around as well. 3-0 jam there for Ice Hurt and the Bruise brothers.
Nice, that was an exciting jam. Looks like Smackaroni versus My Baby Daddy on the line. Oof, both of the jammers trying to take the same spot. Shenanigans has a nice run back there on My Baby Daddy. He's been a really strong blocker in this whole weekend, too. Nice run back by Yeedy from the very top of the pack.
Yeah, Smackaroni clearing the pack and getting recycled. So Smackaroni has lead, but MBD has completed the initial, is coming around to score.
Smackaroni's call-offs are very, very, like, panicked.
Well,
he's in full panic mode when he
Yeah, I'm not
calls
sure
it off.
Smackaroni was aware they were leads. So the bench was screaming, and he looked over
Yeah.
and goes, "Oh,
Yeah,
call up!"
I could tell by their bench, too, that she's losing her voice like the rest of us. Thankfully, he's very aware and is paying attention to what they're doing.
Pickering and Ben Hurt lining up for jam number 23.
Nice tripods, both teams. Oh, Pickering out for lead jammer. So this game has been someone gets lead, someone gets out immediately after the whole time. So it's just chipping away and seeing who can get points first. And it's just been like that the whole time, which I can't say I'm surprised. Kind of expected it.
3-0 again there for Casco. Bruise Brothers starting 2 blockers down. Casco has 1 blocker in the box. X and Ragna on the line.
Now, when your team only has 2 blockers on the track, you might want to think about who you put out as a jammer.
Ooh, nice.
Nice takeout there by Adam.
Yep. Mini Fridge, though, recycling Ragnarocker to the back. That was
Well, Shenanigans all the way from the top, all the way to the back. Nothing crushes a jammer's soul like that, does it? That's tough.
Oh, Ragnarocker attained lead for that completion of the initial trip, but then got recycled again.
Yeah, Yeedy's doing some work up there. Oh, no. Power jam called on, or a penalty called on Ragnarocker.
Yeah,
I think it looked like a
forearm.
forearm call. Yep, forearm.
So we're going to have a 2-minute jam. Will likely take us to the half.
Oh.
X, though, still caught on the initial. Both skaters on the initial. Defense doing everything they can. Look at Modine putting some offense
No, I think that-
on Shenanigans. This Chicago tripod, though, is near impossible to break. Good grief.
They are so hard to play against. They are such a hard team. We play them all the time, and it's like we know it's just going to be like an epic battle of just who can outlast each other.
Yeah, it turns more into endurance and for your blockers. Rock back on the track. N has now completed the initial. X had passed the star
Oh, big wipe out there on the outside.
to Yeedy. Yeedy unable to complete the initial. Ragnarocker picking up 1 final point there at the half, taking Chicago Bruise Brothers to 86. Casco remains at 47 as we head into intermission.
That's a close one. This is still anybody's game.
This is
I mean, this is just a couple power jams difference.
Yeah, no, this is what you want to see in Derby. It's a great time. I hope you'll join us back here in just about 14 minutes.
Wow, don't
See you
miss
then.
it. Let's see what they talk about at the half.
Okay. All right, we're back. Welcome back to Battle of Bunker Hill 2025. One of these times I'll be able to say that without messing my words. This is the second half of Casco Bay versus Chicago Bruise Brothers. Save me, Tot. Say something.
Yes, that's copyright infringement, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this has been a really hard-hitting game so far. Penalties really coming into play. We have some people that are already in a little bit of penalty trouble, mostly on Chicago. Chicago looks to have, actually both teams have a couple people with 3. But so far it looks like the Jammers have not been getting too many.
Yeah, in comparison to the rest of the weekend, this has actually been a low penalty game. But some trouble. Casco Bay getting an ejection early on and jam 10 in the first half. So they are down a blocker. Starting off jam number 1 in the second half, MBD and Ice Hurt.
Both of these Jammers have been performing really well in this game so far.
Ice Hurt picking up
big
lead for
hit
Chicago.
On the outside. Ice Hurt out for lead. Baby Daddy stuck behind Shenanigans at the top of the pack. Ice Hurt back around for her scoring pass. Baby Daddy finally breaks the pack. Looks like the bench coach for Chicago wants Ice Hurt to waste a little bit of time, which is a smart strategy when your team is up. And they end that jam 4-0 for Chicago.
Heading to jam number 2, Smackaroni and Modine on the Hopkins Enterprises jammer line.
Shenanigans sitting in the box for Chicago, giving Casco a pack advantage on this start.
I can't hear Shenanigans and not think of Super Troopers. Modine with a nice little
slick
spin move.
Oh, that was slick.
It's going to earn them lead status for Casco.
Smackaroni still stuck in that pack. Oh, we got 2 blockers in the box for Casco. It's like Modine's going to run it, maybe try to break down some of that blocker penalty time.
Jam is called.
That's 4-3.
I think I'm gonna see another-
Casco.
Yeah, 4-3, sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Todd.
Casco up 4 on that jam. Chicago 3. Casco starting this jam with 2 blockers in the box. It looks like Ben Hurt going up against Pickering on the jammer line.
Yeah, I do not envy Pickering right now, looking at that tripod already formed on the track.
Ouch. No, you're going the wrong way. Oh, nice way to bait the line there. Very good. Okay, we have a blocker coming out to assist from Casco. Pickering out. Oh, we got Ben Hurt out with no one even touching him. Too many people with Hurt in their name.
Do you know if they're related? Ice Hurt, Ben Hurt? Are they?
I have no
Are they
idea.
a Derby family?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Pinky had to point out to me that Hershey Bad makes up Hershey, and their number is 717, which is the area code for that area. And you would think I know that because that's literally the area code on my cell
Oh,
phone.
wow.
That's where I live.
Yeah, Hershey Bad has actually come and visited us at practice in Pittsburgh, and I think she's coming again this month.
Yeah, that just shows you how oblivious I am to some of those things. Oh, no pass, no penalty for MBD, so Ragnarocker awarded lead.
Ragnar decides to call it off, which is probably a wise move when Baby Daddy's the jammer. Don't want to take any risks. So right now our score is sitting at 97 Chicago and 51 for Casco with 26 minutes left in this bout.
Ice Hurt Modine
Watching
starting us.
Modine makes me tired.
Yeah, like,
I definitely couldn't do that for a long period of time.
again, it's the junior energy, just
Yeah.
fearless and relentless.
Yep. Ice Herd out for lead, coming around on their scoring pass. Oh no, Modine goes to the box.
Forearm penalty. That's Modine's first penalty.
Yeah. Forearms have been the name of the game this weekend, unfortunately.
I thought the name of the game was roller derby.
That's a myth. Casco doing a good job of holding ice on their power jam. Ice Hurt finally breaks free from the pack. Modine comes out of the box. Oh, nice move on the outside line. Ice decides not to take any chances and calls that jam off.
3 more points picked up by Ice. 7-point jam for the Bruise brothers, taking them over the century mark up to 104. If you're just joining us, Chicago Bruise brothers skating in white at 104. Casco Bay skating in black at 51.
That's Macaroni here versus Pickering.
Starting with an empty penalty box, that's new.
That's rare. That's rare this whole weekend. Both jammers get tossed around a little bit at the start.
Yeah. I didn't see it from here, but I happen to be looking at the screen, and Twinklebeef is going to take a forearm penalty for that one.
So Macaroni gets out for lead jammer. It took a little while to get there. So good defense happening on Casco. Now we have 2 blockers in the box for Chicago.
Ooh, Pickering back in the pack for points. Nice knockout there.
That's Akira. Nice
From
take
Akira.
out on the inside line. Now, Akira, the last time we played them in October, he was one of their primary jammers. So it's interesting to see him switch to the blocker position. So it's like Pickering and him swap places.
Ooh,
Oh, nice
fake
little
out.
juke.
Yeah.
That was a nice jam for Casco. The little momentum that they needed, so that ended up with 7 points for Casco and 5 for Chicago on that one. 22 minutes left in the game. 58 Casco, 109 Chicago.
My Baby Daddy and Ben Hertz on the Hopkins Enterprises jammer line.
Clear box. Let's see what these packs do.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes, you did, MBD.
Oh no,
Yes,
both
you
jammers
did.
are going to the box. We're gonna have a quick little trade places happening here.
Yeah, MBD picking up a forearm. Ben Hurt picking up a high block. MBD exiting the track saying, I didn't touch anybody. Let's watch the footage.
Yep.
I tend to
There's gonna
agree
be a
with
lot
the
of studying the
officials on
footage
that
of this
one.
weekend. I guarantee that.
Well, for MBD in the future, I hope you agree.
Nice offense happening on both sides. This jam's gonna go the whole 2 minutes. So buckle in.
4 goes up for MBD. Ben Hurt.
Yep. Looks like we're just going to trade points at this point.
Yeah. This offense from Casco opening it up the outside.
Oh, mama.
Big knockout there from Shenanigans on the outside, but Shenanigans went out and allowed MBD to continue, so he's going to pick up 3 and lose that one pass on Shenanigans.
There's good blocking happening
Heck
from
yeah.
both sides.
Well, and Casco's really turned up the offense fader,
They
right?
have,
Like,
they have. We noticed that when we played them too.
Oh, another
no.
forearm there for MBD.
That is not what they need at the stage.
One of the junior teams, one of their jammers kept getting forearms, and they had the jammers skate with their hands behind their back the whole time. Maybe they should consider that for MBD.
Yeah.
Ben Hurt from the line, looking at the clock, going, "I'm not gonna make it."
Yeah,
I'm not
sometimes you need to know your limits, buddy. That's okay. We're here to support.
Oh, I love it. That's one of the reasons I love this sport. Everybody's so much fun. Team timeout.
Oh, yeah.
Team timeout. Chicago. Give Ben Hurt a second to breathe. 12-11 on that last jam in favor of the Bruise Brothers. Bruise Brothers sitting at 121. Casco Bay at 69.
Bruise Brothers are going to have an advantage going into this next jam with a power start. But they're only going to have a few seconds to do it. A smart move having Ragnarokr go out in that position as the jammer. He's been very successful so far.
Looks like Chicago is going to field Ragnarokr.
All right.
Yeety.
Ragnar
Taking
gets lead jammer, but now Baby Daddy is back on the track. Chicago has a really interesting pairs blocking strategy. Whereas most teams try to use tripods more, they seem to be favoring just working with one other person and then recycling to the top. It can be really effective, but everyone has to be on the same page and pretty agile.
Seems to be working for them this game. For
Yeah.
certain. 3-0
It worked for them well against us too. Well, we've played them many times, so we kind of know what to expect, I guess. But right now we're sitting at 124 Chicago, 69 Casco Bay, 18 minutes left.
Modine and Ice Hurt lining up.
Ooh, big hit on Modine on the inside line.
Ice Hurt taking
Oh,
lead.
big hit there too. Modine's bouncing around like a pinball. Ice Hurt's back around for their scoring pass. Oh no, we have another power jam.
Yeah, this is where Casco's been giving it away. Track cut on
Yeah.
Modine.
Jammer penalties have been a problem for Casco in this bout. Jammer penalties were a problem for us in our bout against Casco, so they can make a huge difference. Power jams win games.
Mini Fridge and Hershey Bad doing their best to hold off.
They're
Ice
doing
Hurt.
pretty good.
Yeah.
They're doing good.
These are two incredible blockers.
Yeah, they're
honestly,
doing really, really well.
in general. Ooh, Modine fast out of the box, tries to the inside, gets knocked out and recycled. Shenanigans. Oh, knocking Modine
I
to the
don't
outside
know
and
if that's legal.
just barely staying in with a bit of a scorpion there.
Oh, a little help
Up on
from
the
their
toes.
friend on
Yeah.
that one.
Modine finally able to clear the initial. Ice Hurt still on the first trip, so going to call it as Modine returns. Ice picking up 2 points for that trip. 3 points for that trip. Thank you. And Casco calls a timeout. This timeout brought to you by Repligen. Repligen is proud to sponsor Casco Bay Roller Derby's 2025 Battle of Bunker Hill, supporting the fierce and inclusive world of roller derby. This sponsorship is led by Aspire Prism, our LGBTQIA+ employee resource group, as part of our commitment to diversity, equality, and community engagement. Just like roller derby, Repligen values resilience, teamwork, and creating spaces where everyone can thrive. We're excited to stand with the vibrant roller derby community and celebrate the power of authenticity and inclusion on and off the track.
Since this is the last MRDA bout of the game, I'm going to mention our after party location. So this is called the Brick Bar and Grill. It's very close to this venue, about a mile away. It's on Orchard Street in Dover. There'll be a full bar open for drinks. Food will be buffet style and first come, first serve. They'll have sliders and chicken tenders, wings, fries, chicken wraps, regular and pulled pork, mac and cheese. So if you're hungry, save your appetite and get there early is what I think. Don't miss out. That sounds like a great after party spot.
Gym number 10 in the second half is going to start with Smackaroni and Pickering.
Seems like we've seen this matchup quite a few times in this game. One blocker in the box for Chicago.
Momentary OTO for the scoreboard.
As far as penalties go right now, we have 2 people on Chicago sitting on 5.
Casco has 3 skaters on 4 penalties. Chicago and Casco just about even though across the board, 25 and 26 penalties.
Yep. It just depends when it's who it is. You know, if more of your penalties go to your jammers, that's when you have a bigger problem, I guess.
Yeah, but as we've seen, a lot of really strong blockers and, you know, blockers, I think, controlling a good portion of this game. So losing a blocker for either team would be an incredible disadvantage as well.
It is, especially when you lose 2. Both these teams are very physical.
So Pickering clears the initial with an apex jump, but gets a no pass, no penalty. So Smackaroni takes the opportunity to leap out of the pack, grab lead, and call it off.
Smart.
Ben Hurt and MBD. Going to start us off. Brief OTO as we get a zebra swap out. Alt ref stepping in.
Both jammers having a lot of trouble getting through this pack. A lot of really heavy
man.
hits and tight walls.
Lane 2 opened and MBD took it, but then Up and Adam found MBD at the end and just knocked him to the out. That was rough. Ben Hurt getting recycled as well. Man, Hershey bad. Oh no, that was Yeedy, excuse me. Yeedy.
They're finally picked up to Ben Hurt likes that outside line, so
Yeah.
they're not letting him take it. He likes to bait to the in and then go to the out. Yeah, they figured out what he does. That's what it is.
MBD out with lead, through on a scoring trip, second up for a second trip. Casco doing an incredible job holding.
Oh, nice jump. The landing was a little iffy, but hey, as long as you're in bounds, you're good.
Ben Hurt finally able to get out. MBD making that final scoring trip
Nice jam there by Casco.
via an apex jump.
Beautiful.
8-0 jam for Casco.
Making them 8 points closer.
Looks like we have an OR being called by Chicago. Again, we're happy to have Skate for Your Die join us here at Battle of Bunker Hill. Skate for Your Die, creating jerseys for your league. Speaking of them, they have some great designs, but they also travel and do sizing visits. So they'll come to your league with everything that you need to size and try it out. Individually numbered jerseys, serial numbered jerseys it's cool. It's like a license plate design so they can track what they're doing.
I
And-
wondered what that was on there.
Yeah, the graphic design overall is just phenomenal. Also, the big hit this weekend is they have the headbands made from jersey material, so the wicking, keeping the sweat out of your eyes.
Oh,
Yep.
I know someone who needs one of those.
No, but we were looking at the Casco Pride jersey, and that Casco Pride jersey legitimately, I think, is my favorite jersey design that I
Yeah,
have seen.
I'll have to go look some more.
Yeah, and it's reversible. They're all reversible, so both sides of it very cool. I personally prefer the dark side, but the light side is equally as gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of wearing white jerseys. I wear all my clothes are black.
I will say though, the reversible jersey doesn't have the same problem a lot of reversibles have, where you either see through it or it's
Yeah.
like double layer. It's a single sort of piece of fabric, and both sides opaque, bright,
Yeah, I don't like
colorful.
that. All right, so to give you an idea of what happened during that last official review, Chicago did not think that Baby Daddy should have gotten the 4 points on the last apex jump at the end of that last jam. They know the 4 points remain on the board, and they lose their official review.
Just need one skate to land in 1 foot down before.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's pretty.
Yeah.
As long as you're in bounds, that's really
Yep.
it. And don't hit anybody on your way down.
Ooh. That was a huge hit there. Was that
I couldn't see through the
Wipeout, I
pack,
think, that
honestly.
delivered that nasty
I
hit?
couldn't see through the officials.
Modine Ragnarok jamming with us. Neither jammer out of the pack yet. Markimedes and Shenanigans trying to hold Modine back. Up and at him coming
Some really
forward.
great recycling by Chicago on this. Both teams have really strong blocking right now, and these jammers are probably not very psyched about it.
Wipeout, though, trying to break up some of the Chicago blockers for Modine. Modine doesn't need that big a gap.
Oh, massive takeout the top.
Yeah, that was Shenanigans knocking Modine to the out. And that's going to
I heard a whistle, but no one was really sure. Everyone was like, maybe that was no. Okay, we're good. Everyone stood around for a second, like thinking something was going to happen.
All right, we're back at the pivot line. Still no initial for either
Wow.
jammer.
This is an amazing defensive jam. Both jammers are like,
Yeah.
why haven't we gone out yet? This is ridiculous.
I feel like Ragnarokers turned into a blocker at this point.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing work by both teams defensively on that jam. Just want to say that as a former blocker, I love that. Really, really good teamwork on both sides. Well done. We got Pickering versus Ice Hurts on the jammer line. We have one blocker starting in the box for Casco. Oh, we got Pickering out for lead jammer. They have really proven to be a very well-rounded skater.
Certainly, yeah. Ice also out of the pack on the initial. Pickering gets the last pass and calls it. Oh, looks like they missed one blocker there. 3 points for Pickering, 2 for Ice Hurt. Just about 11 minutes remaining in the game. Chicago leads by 50, roughly, 129 to 80.
Not bad.
Casco in black, Chicago in white. MBD having some.
Oh, that was pretty.
What a 1-2 punch.
That was that was a whole beautiful sequence of events.
Yeah, MBD.
Baby Daddy just fed smackaroni to Yeedy, and she was hungry.
Oh, MBD could have continued there, but.
Well,
MBD
sometimes it's better to play it safe.
Yeah.
You don't really know, you know. He gets out anyways.
MBD back around on a second scoring trip.
Nice offense by Yeedy in the front. Set up perfectly. That apex jump for my baby daddy, which he immediately takes and decides to call it. Perfectly done. Great jam by Yeedy in that last pack. A lot of really smart plays.
Oh.
That lands the Casco 8 points closer to Chicago.
We're back to Modine and Ben Hurt.
Casco has done really well in the last few jams to close this gap.
Chicago a blocker down. Let's see if that works in Modine's favor.
Both jammers still fighting the tripods.
Oh,
Modine with a St. Louis handstand.
yeah, one little finger
Oh,
dragging
nice
on the
catch by
outside.
Hershey Bad on the outside on Ben Hurt. Wow. Ben Hurt finally breaks the pack coming around for his scoring pass. Modine decides not to risk it. Takes what they get, calls it off.
It's going to be 2 points for Modine. Up to 90. Chicago remains at 129.
Closing the gap to just about 39 points. Great rally by Casco in this last few jams. Love to see it.
Pickering and Ragnarocker on the line. Racer Rex and Twinkle Beef standing on either side of the track looking hungry for some Pickering beef. And, yep, knocking Pickering out and recycling him.
Shenanigans that I think would be his last penalty. He's going to foul out, which I think he did yesterday too.
Wow.
Nice catch there by Psych and Destroy, forces Pickering to call it off right as Ragnar was about to hit the pack. Both teams starting with one blocker in the box in the next jam. About 8 minutes to go in this bout. Yeah, Shenanigans has fouled out of the game, so Akira will be replacing him in the box for the next jam. Tails old as time. No, I don't think the first one. No, Psych and Destroy fouled out the first one.
He's fouled out of both
He fell, did he? No. Always does. He's very aggressive, so.
He's definitely fouled out of two.
MBD and Ice Hurt.
I don't think he fell out of ours.
MBD absorbing that last final hit
Maybe
from
don't.
Bruise Brothers, grabbing lead. MBD's going to take the 4 and call it.
Casco's coming up. It's another 4 on the board. They're chipping away at that lead. Just about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, and just like that, all of a sudden this game has very realistically looked dangerous for Chicago. Chicago's going to need to look out.
This
Both
game
teams have gone down a player so far. Modine and Smackery lining up for Smackaroni, lining up for Jam 18.
Yep, this game's going pretty much how pretty much everyone expected it to go, especially now.
Ooh, Modine with a fake.
Smackaroni out for lead, but Modine is hot on his heels. Modine is fast.
Modine almost.
Man, Modine is so fast.
Yeah, Modine adopting a speed skater technique and kind of drafting behind.
They're so fast. These juniors, I'm telling you, I don't know what they give them when they're in juniors, but they're fearless.
Pickering and Ben
This one's
Hurt.
almost ready to foul out too. Pivots in the box for both teams. Ben Hurt makes it out for lead jammer.
Yeah. Ooh, big hit there in turn 2. Probably a good call here on the Bruise Brothers side, altering the jammer rotation. Ben Hurt and Modine were not matching up quite well. That was, yeah, I think I tend to agree.
Yeah.
That-
Sometimes people go into it though and you can't tell. But now we have a power jam going for Casco.
That is not what Bruise Brothers
That's not
wanted.
what they need at all. And they have a blocker in the box as well.
Ooh. Oh, I would. Yeah. Oh!
Oh!
So Pickering just
Oh.
barely staying
That
on
was
the
a
out.
good fake out.
Not able to tell if they were in or not. Went ahead and recycled and did it again, and just powering through the inside again. Just
Oh,
playing
nice.
4. That scoring trip number
Oh,
2.
this game is getting real interesting.
Still on a power jam as trip number 3 comes up. Ben Hurt's going to re-enter on the first scoring trip.
Oh, beautiful dip on the outside line. Pickering around. He's at 12 points already for this jam. This is getting real close.
Yeah, Ben Hurt, though, powering past Hershey Bad, is going to complete that trip. Still about 20 seconds left in the jam. Pickering providing some offense there against Ben Hurt. Looks like
No, I wouldn't want to be wasting too much time if I were not on the winning end of the scoreboard. I don't think there's anybody's lead, so this jam's got just a couple seconds left to go. Let's see if anyone can get more points.
yeah, Pickering is 2 scoring trips up over Ben Hurt.
That was a massive jam for Casco. What a push. What's some momentum on the board. That was a 15-point jam for Casco Bay.
Yeah, and Casco going to call a timeout to regroup.
Yeah.
15-7 jam in favor of Casco. So Casco reduces the lead. Chicago only up by 27 at this point.
Yeah. 4 minutes. A couple power jams.
And that is
Can at
not-
least close that gap.
Yeah, that is not out of the question.
No, not
for
at
this
all.
game.
This game is getting good. The name of the game is going to be Stay Out of the Box.
Yeah. Chuck Norris and MBD spending some time there in the middle having a conversation.
That's Pickering.
Excuse me, Pickering. MBD on the line with a star against Ragnarocker.
This is going to be a real fun matchup.
Yeah, this is all
So-
hands on deck right
Yeah,
now.
right now, Chicago's goal is going to be just protect the lead.
Yep.
Protect the lead they have. Waste time when they're in charge. Hold the other jammer. That's it. That's all they got to do. They got to just work the clock. Oh, no. This is not what Casco needs.
Yeah,
My baby
MBD,
daddy goes to the box.
Yeah, on a back block.
Ragna is lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, that penalty is likely going to be game altering for Casco.
Oh, that's so tough.
Ragnarocker absorbing this power jam. 4 points up. Third scoring trip coming at you. Oh, no shortage of offense, though, from the Bruise brothers.
Wow.
Official review called by Casco. I believe that jam being called for. I believe that was an injury call off, but it's all skaters.
Yeah, it seemed a
all
little
skaters.
quick.
Yeah, all skaters up and doing all right.
Yeah, it seemed like a quick call off for that, but
Yeah, it was
you have to be safe. Safety
Yeah, that was
first.
a rough hit, hard fall.
Safety is super important here.
The Dover Ice Arena here is not very forgiving when it comes to.
No. Smashing into the concrete usually isn't.
Yeah. Two and a half minutes remain. Bruise Brothers sitting at 147, Casco Bay at 109. Casco likely needing nothing short of a miracle if they're looking to pull this out.
Can be a little bit of a shock to the system to play Chicago the first time, honestly. They play differently than most other leagues.
I recall seeing Chicago for the first time years ago.
Yeah.
And just the size and power of the Bruise Brothers is just ridiculous.
It's extremely aggressive gameplay, and you have to match it to be able to survive it. Whenever we're getting ready to play Chicago, we just say, just survive the game. If we can just survive the game, then we can win the game.
Protein shakes and squats.
Yeah, you just have to outlast. It's tough.
Gotta give you work to do. Oh my goodness.
Do you know who already won one?
Wow.
Does it matter? For Jammer, I think.
Okay.
I think Jammer. Cleanest.
Also, we have to, after we do this, to think about who we want to do overall tournament, MVB and MVJ. I think the best time for us to award, because we have to do MRDA and JRDA, we'll do it after this next game, so in between that and the zombie.
Okay. Okay, I'm with that.
quite a bit of time there in the middle with our officials. What do you think, Todd?
What's that?
Would you say that a longer time in the middle of officials, would you say that that tends to retain or tends to lose if the OR goes on for an extended period?
I think it really comes down to how the person who called the official review presents the official review, because there's specific information that the officials want you to give, and if all of the pieces of the puzzle are not there, it's highly likely that you're not going to win it.
Yeah, that's one of the first things new bench coaches or new captains has to learn.
That's
is
why,
that cadence of the official review.
Exactly, and that's why whenever I'm on the bench as Pittsburgh's head coach, I do not take the C or the A because I don't feel comfortable with that yet. So our captains have the C and the A because they're both good at calling official reviews, and I'm not. So you have to know your weaknesses.
They should make a official review Mad Lib where you just fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I see a penalty going up. I think I know what that might mean here.
Oh, okay.
So, yep, it does look like Casco, have they been told? Yes. It does look like Casco is going to retain that review. They were seeking an additional penalty on a white blocker. There was a block to the back that seemed a bit egregious. The officials...
No, I don't think that's what she said. I think she said it was an embellishing a back block, which you cannot do. You can't pretend someone hit you harder than they actually did. I think that's what she said.
It's very loud in here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Which would make sense because he got a misconduct penalty. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. You cannot make your penalty seem like it's worse than it actually is by flailing around or doing anything to make it seem more egregious than it actually was.
This is roller derby, not soccer.
Yeah, it's not theater, my friends.
So MBD still in the box from the last jam. Ice Hurt jamming for Bruise Brothers.
And also, I noticed a really smart call on the bench for Casco, but they put Pickering out as the pivot for this jam. Knowing how crucial these last few moments of the game are, that was a pretty smart call. Something that, only a really smart, knowledgeable bench staff who knows their skaters well would do.
MBD coming out of the box, clearing the pack with an apex jump, coming around to contest, forces the call off, and a 0-0 jam, and we have a timeout called from the Casco bench.
And we had a blocker switcheroo in the penalty box for Chicago because number 350 has fouled out, so Twinkle Beef will be taking their place in the box. Down to 1 minute 43 seconds to go in the game. We have Modine against Smackaroni for this jam.
Everybody poised and ready to go. Still about 15 seconds left of the timeout.
Well, nice catch on the inside on Modine by Psych and Destroy. Ooh, great catch at the top of the pack by Pickering to keep Smackaroni from getting lead jammer. All right, that jam ends as Smackaroni decides to call it off before Modine can score any points.
Yeah, looking at clock strategy, Casco still has that OR to use as a timeout. I'm guessing that's what's about to happen. And that is, yeah. I agree with that choice. So they're going to take that timeout to stop the clock. That OR as a timeout to stop the clock. That shows you how important ORs are for you, folks.
Yeah, especially if you win them, because now they had an extra one because they won their last official
Yep.
review. So you better be confident if you're going to do an official review and you actually need it.
Yeah, you know, some newer skaters and some newer or you know, up-and-coming leagues might not think about the importance of your bench coach staff, but honestly, some of the choices bench coaching makes absolutely critical.
No, 100%.
Especially with two teams as tightly matched as Chicago and Casco.
Yeah, we knew
Every
this
little
would be a
bit.
good one, and it's proven to be a very, very good game.
What?
Huh?
I thought I heard my name.
No.
Okay.
Pinky. That was your name.
All right, we got Ben Hurt coming out against My Baby Daddy in this jam. Is it the last one? We don't know. Oh, we got Ben Hurt out for lead jammer for Chicago. Baby Daddy's still fighting that big four wall in the front.
If I have to guess, Ben Hurt's likely going to milk this clock.
Ben Hurt's probably going to just let this jam, this period clock end
Yep.
to ensure that they have won this game.
Yeah, at this point, Ben Hurt could just go out and become a fifth blocker.
Yeah. That looks like that's exactly what he's doing for a second. Like, is this even worth fighting for here? But you want to have as many points against the opposing team as you can nowadays, so a win is not all you need. Yep,
And
that
there it
is it. That's the end of the game. Chicago has prevailed over Casco. We'll hold on a second before we give you the official score.
2 more points there at the end, taking Chicago up to 149. Casco Bay 109. A great MRDA matchup here. At
Excellent. This
Battle
whole
of Bunker
weekend has
Hill.
been great.
Yes, absolutely.
All the murder games have been awesome.
So our Bruise brothers will take a victory lap, followed by Casco Bay. We'll announce MVPs off mic over in the corner. But join us right here at 1 o'clock as Black Rose Juniors take on the Pittsburgh Derby Brats. We'll see you then.
Thank you.